slow my pace, thunder in my footsteps, feel the wind I chase. Chains can't hold my spirit, justice is my crown. I'm riding into sunrise, claiming every town.
No fear in my reflection, shedding every guise. In the roar of freedom's course, hear my battle cry. I rise up like a phoenix riding north's first light, tearing on my blindness, scorching through the night. No more chained by rumors or the poison lies. I find my freedom where the truth will rise. Forward ever, onward, never looking back again. Stamping out the darkness, feel the roaring wind.
Whoop whoop! Good morning. Happy Halloween. We're having a live hollow scream. How are you all doing today? Had to shut my office door and get this party started. Is everyone ready for today? Are you guys ready to be spooked? Boo. I see everybody coming in here today. Good to see you. Good to see every single one of you. I'll tell you, I've got some scary stories I could share, but there's some scary stuff going on in this case in the Idaho 4. But before we get started, I've got a question for you. Are you all ready? Welcome in every single one of you. If you are not in a country that celebrates Halloween like the United States, God bless you. I'll tell you, it's kind of scary. It's a scary world we live in with the news and the chaos. And I am definitely praying for your mom, Marissa. I know you guys have been through a struggle. And, our justice system is freaking scary, y'all. I can't imagine, and I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've experienced somebody that was innocent plead guilty because that was the only option. That is the only option. Now, mind you, remember, we participate in Halloween. We don't really celebrate it. There was only 1 year that we did, and that was during COVID because my heart was in it for the kids. And if you don't remember, we had a little villa on an island of ours, and we made a drive around Halloween little trick or treat with a 6-foot candy drop. And I am still looking for those videos. Those videos are so old, God only knows where they ended up. But I got a question for you. And Marissa, I see your comments, honey. I'm going to pray that she receives her medication and there'll be no more confusion, because I know that she does need those, especially after a surgery. I could not imagine going through surgery. Now, that's scary. I couldn't imagine going through surgery with no pain medications. Now, mind you, I've given birth 4 times. Only one of them was with an epidural. But I could not imagine going through surgery. And I've been through 3 surgeries, 3 major surgeries. I can't imagine going through surgery and not having medication after, or the things that she does need after surgery. So I think everyone in our little nest here, and I know we're a tight-knit community, definitely pray for Marissa's mom. And if you don't know Marissa's story and her mom's background, I'm sure maybe you've seen her live on Birdie before when she shared her story. But everybody needs care, whether it's self-care, health-care. Everybody needs care. And if you can, it's wild what self-care can do to a person. Just 10 minutes sitting in the car, just doing whatever it is that you need to reflect on, meditate, prayer. 10 minutes to yourself a day can really make a difference, especially when the holidays are coming up. So shout out to all you nesters that are really embracing our community here. I mean, I'm almost in tears to tell you I'm so thankful for every single one of you. Um, Marissa, have you talked to any of your congressmen locally? I would call one of your local commissioners in Michigan and tell them, hey, X, Y, and Z, and this has to be taken care of. You are your mother's best advocate. Absolutely, in this situation. I mean, if you have to go above, go above. If you can get on the phone and start calling some of your legislation in that area, the warden, anyone possible that will listen, we are in agreement with you to get her the care that she needs ASAP. Okay? And I know there's a couple of you that reached out to me. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe your prayers are being worked on. Okay? Your answer is coming. Your children will be blessed. And keep going. Keep strong. Stay strong. Um, so let's do this. I have a question for you. It is Halloween. I'm doing a live scream here. We're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, and I'm going to bring you some laughter and some serious stuff. But right now, let's get a little spooky. Y'all ready for this one? Now, I really didn't watch scary movies growing up, but I did go to a drive-in movie theater, and some of you have heard this story. It's a true experience of mine. And my mom didn't really let me go with just anyone. And this was in the 80s, right? Y'all remember my 80s? I mean, gosh, I am one of the, probably millions of people who absolutely was fortunate to grow up in the time of the 80s. It would have been really cool for me if I absolutely grew up, like, let's say in the 50s too. But, there's just something about the 80s that it, yeah, long drive-ins. I have a video I want to share with you just before we begin. And this is the kind of station wagon that I was in. And it is so weird that I found this video and I thought, man, I was in this kind of station wagon at the drive-in. And I'll tell you, in the 80s, this was the music. I mean, my first concert, let me ask you this. What was your first concert, your real first concert you ever went to? If you grew up in the 80s. Mine was, and don't laugh, my aunt took me when I was 16 to a Duran Duran concert, and it was absolutely amazing. And the opening act was Erasure. I don't know if you all remember Erasure. That'll tell you how old I am, and that'll tell you how much fun I had in the 80s, because dang, we had some fun. We had some serious fun. So I'm getting some answers in here. Debbie Gibson, Alabama. Let's see. What else are we getting in here? ZZ Top. Whoop whoop. Beach Boys concert. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Richard Marx, man, he was bad back in the day, guys. Oh, if you I'm gonna have to break out an oldies but goodies radio station and stream it and listen to it today, I'll tell you. Richard Marx, Paul McCartney. Our Speedwagon as a baby. There you go, Marissa. 8 years old. Jason Aldean. Awesome. My husband and I, we love, love, love Old Dominion. And we went to so many of their concerts when they first came out, front row seats. We went to their first country fair. Good morning. I'm with you, Phoenix. I would have loved the 50s. Me too, to see the Beatles. Oh my gosh. Could you believe that? Could you imagine if you went to a Beatles concert? That'd be so awesome. Okay, So I've got a video for you. I should have played it before. Before I talked about the 80s, but I'm telling you, I loved being able to grow up when I did. It was a true blessing. So let's do this. I'm going to show you this video. I know I showed you one the other day, but keep in mind, this station wagon in this video is the exact one I was in when, let me share my screen. When I was in the drive-in movie theater in the story I'm about to tell you.
Dude, it's the 80s. Do you know how tough we are? Without a remote control, we had to get up and walk all the way over to change the channel.
The playground was full of metal slides that had been baking in the sun at 350 degrees, leaving our bodies covered in burn marks.
After watching a movie on these devices, it wasn't as simple as just turning them off. We also had to rewind the tape. Those rotary phones didn't have a backspace button, so if we dialed the wrong number, we had to start all over. When we sat in the lawn chair in the backyard, we had to be careful not to get swallowed by the seat. We'd buy gum that cost a penny apiece, and no one cared if it was expired or not.
Do you remember stuff like this from the 80s? Tell me how old you are.
Okay. Oh my God, that brings back so many memories for me as a kid. I am telling you. So I'm going to rewind it back just so you get this picture up here of the station wagon. Okay. So some of you have heard this story, but this is probably the scariest thing that has ever happened in real life, minus the church story I'll tell you in a minute. So in the back of the station wagon, my friend, her dad, her mom, and her brother are all in the back of, three of us were in the back of the station wagon, and parents were in the front. We go to the drive-in movie theater. Now, I've been to the drive-in movie theater when I was younger, and it's wild because this serious picture is like ingrained in my head. You ever have an experience where it's just like ingrained in your head type of thing? Well, yeah, that was me. So we're on our way. We get to the movie theater. It's already dark. And one of the things that I kind of giggle and laugh about is, you go through, you walk up there. Yeah, life was so simple, believe me. You'd go up there, you'd get your concessions, your popcorn, your drinks, and you'd go back to your car, and you're in the comfort of what you're familiar with. Well, that night, yeah, the faux wood paneling. That night, we brought our sleeping bags. And she says, my dad always lets us go to the top of the car where the little racks, they had one in the middle that was missing. And she said, and we get to get on the top of the car and watch the movie from the top outdoors. And I thought, man, that is so freaking cool. Let's do it. So we get up there and we're watching the movie, and we go to the scariest movie a child could ever see. Well, I wasn't a child. I was about 13, but we're watching Children of the Corn. And this this episode is getting a little scary, right? I don't know if y'all remember Children of the Corn movie. If you do, drop a, I don't know, pumpkin or something. So the Children of the Corn is playing and on the big screen, right? And this movie was so entirely, freaky. Some movies you just, you have ingrained in your head. So anyways, we're watching the movie, and this is an episode screen grab that I grabbed, that this part comes, right? And before it starts to get dark, we have the guy besides us pull up, and it's a guy, a girl in the front seat, and two guys in the back, and a girl on the far right side. Well, I'm on the left side of the car on top. And the movie probably gets to about maybe 30-45 minutes. And obviously the movie starts out all nice, and then it gets really like gory and scary. But back then, gory and scary is not what gory and scary is today, if you all agree, right? It's not like it is today. So then, you know, you see the kids, they're running through the corn maze trying to get away. And, next comes the scary part, and it's dark. And so I had to go to the restroom. And, I don't know if you know the gist of the story of Children of the Corn. It obviously, I could tell you a little bit real quick. Has If you haven't seen it, it's basically set in a rural town in Nebraska, and the film tells of an evil entity referred to he who walks behind the rows, the corn guy, right? Children of the Corn. And it entices the kids' children to unalive all the adults in the town, and they'll be the only ones living. And I don't know why in the world they picked this movie, because the people that I went with were very, very like churchy, right? And it's all supernatural. And it was Stephen King's. It's based on, his short story of the same name. So, anyways, it gets to a scary part, and I have to go to the restroom, and it's about, a good little walk back to from where we are in the middle of the drive-in movie theaters. I mean, those drive-in movie theaters are made very, very well, right? Usually set on a hill, so you go down, the car goes down a little bit, then they make those little hills that go, um, you know what I'm talking about, right? The drive-in movie theaters where you see the little humps so that everybody has a good, view. Okay. So I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, because some people that are overseas, they've never been to a drive-in movie theater, or perhaps they've never seen a well put together, or why they do drive-in movie theaters. So it's just a place, and um, it's just a place you can go and park and see a movie on a huge screen. Some of them actually have swings and little playgrounds so the kids can go and play before you watch. I mean, I was in one in Texas, and it was really nice. Sunsets were beautiful. They had a play area. So the cars, there's these little humps. So the cars go up, the front of your car goes up. So everybody points up and you can actually see the movie. So I have to go to the bathroom. And in the middle of having to go, I look down, and on the right side of me, there is someone laying on the ground, pitch dark, watching a scary movie. Children of the Potatoes. All right, Caleb, I just have to laugh at that one. Okay, so we're watching this, and I see this guy on the ground, and I say, "Hey, somebody's laying on the ground. Maybe he's drunk." And she gets down on her side, because I don't want to get down, because then I have to go right next to this guy on the ground. And she gets down on her side, and she tells her dad, and her dad tells me to get down on his side. And he goes around, and immediately, because he was on obviously right over there, um immediately, because the car had already pulled off, it was sus, the guy's on the ground, the car just kind of pulled off with no lights, because it's a courtesy, you don't want to turn on your lights. And so he goes over, and he tells one of us, he actually told both of us, to go as a pair, go to the concession stand and call 911, call the police. And I don't really think 911 was a big thing back then. It was kind of like call the police type of thing. And so calls the police. This guy had been stabbed, and he was already, I mean, like, gone. Okay. So there were two people, the two guys in the back. I guess one of them stabbed him, opened the door, and kind of dumped him out while we were all watching the movie. It was kind of a scary, scary time. Very scary time. And I mean, have you ever had a scary moment in your life like that, where you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening? Other than, for me, childbirth. Yeah. I've seen a couple dead bodies in my lifetime. It's not like, it's not like you definitely remember, and you definitely don't want to see it again. But if I ever had to see it again, and, I've been with a few people who've passed away, friends, it's scary. So I'll give you one more scary story. It's a true story. So I'm 16. Actually, I was 17. And Mom, if you're listening, I apologize. So I go out with my boyfriend at the time. He was already a little older. Um and so we're out, and he takes us, me and my friend, to the movies. And I can't remember the name of the movie, guys. What? Oh my gosh, I've done this before and I can't even remember the name of the movie. It was a movie about the church, a root canal Halloween. Jeepers Creepers at a local movie theater. Oh my god. Uh Jeepers Creepers, that was scary. Um it was, maybe you guys can help me. It was a movie, there was a church scene, and everything in the church was pretty much upside down, like it was liquid. Does anybody remember from that type of description what movie it was? It had to been in 1987 or 80. It had to been 87. I was 16, 17. And let me see if I can find it. Let's see. It wasn't called The Church. It was, they filmed, the church was in LA because he drove us out there after the movie. So we go and watch this scary movie. I don't think it was called The Church, but we go watch this scary movie, and it's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We drop her off, and no, not Scream. He drops her off. It wasn't called The Church. And uh, I always had a habit, if we went out to the movies, I'd fall asleep in the car on the way home. And so I go. Yes, there it is, Amanda. You were amazing. Amazing. Thank you. That is the movie. Oh my gosh. That was the movie. Okay, so here it is. Halloween takes us out to this movie. And if you guys know The Church, here it is. I'm going to show you real quick. Thank you, Amanda. John Carpenter's movie, The Prince of Darkness. So I fall asleep in the car. And he said, yeah, there is one called The Church. I fall asleep in the car, and that is a face in there, supposedly. And I wake up, and he says, here. And I said, okay. And I wake up and I turn to the right, and we just watched this movie, and he takes me to this church. Oh my God. So The Prince of the Darkness, the movie was it was a John Carpenter movie. I remember that. And basically the whole premise of the movie is um Prince of Darkness, right? Scary, uh just like a horror movie. It's about an evil that they trap in this church, and it's just a real outlandish movie. I mean, but the part that scared me is when he says, "Hey, we're here, wake up." And I wake up and I turn to the right, and I'm at the church that actually was just in the movie. That's pretty freaky. I will never ever forget those two moments. Those are probably the scariest in my entire lifetime. So, I've survived many drive-by shootings, missed being killed. Ooh, but my friends were killed. I am so sorry. I am sorry, Caleb. I almost choked at 5. I saved my daughter from choking when she was 3. My oldest stopped the attack. I am so sorry, Caleb. Yeah, there's some scary stuff out there. Yeah, no, that's not true, Mega Fluffy. So not true. Yeah, Carpenter actually, they have a Wikipedia on it. I mean, it's just it's kind of part of his series, the Apocalypse trilogy. I remember a couple months back I talked about this, but it's basically a Catholic priest was investigating the kind of like liquid stuff in this church, and it's, I guess they find out that it's like the embodiment of Satan or something like that. So I mean, it was like in the 87, right? My mind is like not really remembering the 80s horror movies that I watched. Oh, Genesis loves the Halloween background. Yeah, I put that up there just for you guys. So let's do this. Here's a question that I have for you. If you heard whispering in your house at 3 a.m., but everyone else in your house is asleep, what would you do first? If you heard whispering in your house at 3 a.m., but everyone else was asleep, what would you do first? That's a great question. What would you do? Grab your gun. Hey, welcome into the chat. Welcome into the stream, the live scream. Listen to the whispering. That's a good one, Dina. I'd ignore it. Wake someone up. Let me not give it any attention. Go investigate. Break out the holy water. Start praying. Hide under the bed. I love it. I love your answers. Oh my gosh, what would I do? I would probably whisper back. I would probably whisper back because, yeah, I don't think I would investigate a whisper at 3 a.m. in the morning. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so how many of you did the whole thing? You get in the bathroom with your friends, close the door, and you say the BM word, and that's not bowel movement, it's the blank Mary word. Okay. Yeah, some of my friends tried to get me to do that stuff, and I wasn't into it. Just wasn't into it. Now let me say, give you negative pair. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. That's true. So I'd ignore it. I've had this happen to me. Three people talking in the room right after my puppy died in a. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Apparently, I would go right after the person. I almost knocked my hubby out once. Oh my gosh. Yeah, part of childhood. I agree. Yep. Tell them to shut up. You're trying to sleep. That's a good one. Yeah, Amanda, that's it. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Yep. Okay, one. We don't celebrate it, but we do participate. We pass out candy, talk about all this stuff. But let's get into the Idaho 4 screamy boo part of this, right? Let's talk about this real quick. Because the early rumors on the street was that this was supposed to happen in October. And when you hear, I mean, I'm not the only one that heard this, right? Anybody else hear this? That there was some stuff going on in October. You can go on the 4chan, you can go on the threads and look at the rumors and the stories and all that stuff. But no, I never participated in any of that bad juju. Nope, 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 nope. Not me. But here's a question. If the Idaho 4 house could speak on Halloween night, what do you think it would reveal first? If you think, I'm sorry, what was the question I asked? If the Idaho 4 house could speak on Halloween night, what do you think it would reveal first? What would it tell us first? It would cry. Absolutely. And remember, your thoughts are your own thoughts and opinions here. You can say whatever you want. Not enough, not guilty, not guilty. Absolutely. We don't even know for sure that this is real. It would tell you this is BS. It would tell us who did this. Right. And you know what? I believe, in my humble opinion, that this story is true, but they have taken this event and turned it into something so massive they didn't think it was going to blow up like this. And I think it went from a cover up to a collusion. And that's my humble opinion. Because that's what the evidence is indicating, that something in that house would reveal that. And that's why they had to take it down. They had to remove it from the equation. And when you see something like that on a national wide level, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Tony, that they use this story for the premonition, or they call it right before they tell you the truth in a movie. I can't remember what that name is called again. A precursor, or a what is it? It's a pre something before the movie. And they basically tell you what's going to happen before it happens. Just like this foreshadowing. Yes, thank you, Caleb. Foreshadowing. Just like we're unable to see some files out there that people have been asking for. Absolutely. And I believe there was some type of secret, and the maintenance guys could probably tell us. And the reason I say that, and let me do this real quick. Let me get a picture, a really good picture that I saw. And let me show and tell you why, but I need it from a different angle. Let me take a look at this. Okay, I'm going to use this picture since it's Halloween and we're talking about Livescream. I'm going to throw this picture up there, and I want you to think about this picture real quick. You know, this, back in the days, Amityville Horror was, obviously a story out there. And it's basically, carried on through the legends that this distinctive Dutch colonial house right in the Amityville Horror movie. And, it was based on a book too. I don't know if you know that. But basically, the unalivings that happened there in that house, it's really weird. Now, did you know that the Amityville house address was 112 Ocean Avenue? Yeah, 112 Ocean Avenue. And basically, unalivings happened there, and it just became a really huge um place where people would go and visit, or sightsee. And I'm sure perhaps the college didn't want that. They didn't want everyone coming. It is a real story. Yeah, it is a real story. And I'm sure that, just like this house, this is the actual house at 112. It's still there. Absolutely, Caleb. It's still there. This is the real house. But unlike the college, didn't want this to be a major deterrent because of the money coming in, because of the college students. And, someone sent me a video the other day in regards to a channel out there. And it's been, I think this channel's been up since 2017. And it kind of shows you, let me grab it, and then you guys can kind of see. Well, I think they needed to tear this house down for a few reasons. I think we've talked about it before. And one of the main reasons is the negative connotation in the city, in the area, because they did not want this to be an Amityville situation, right? Not only did they want to get rid of the evidence, but they needed to stop people. I mean, it would have been a tourist spot, right? I mean, think about it. People would come in from out of town. There's nowhere to house them. That town is very tiny. And to bring a lot of people through there, and they were having this problem already. Seriously. And I don't know how many people would come like Halloween. I don't know how many other people would, visit. something like this. I don't know why people would want to visit this, but people do. And just like Amityville Horror, I think that this would have brought a lot of negative attention, and they did not want negative attention in Idaho. There are a couple of things that really stuck out in my mind when they tore down this house. Is number one, they're going to hide some evidence. Definitely hide some evidence. And number two, that they didn't want the truth out there, because listen to all the rumors that we've heard over the last couple of years. There's tunnels, there's crawl spaces, and this is the reason I brought this up based on someone's comment. Look at this house, okay? We know that the first floor, which is the basement level, which I don't understand why the first floor that you come into is the basement. Now, does that make sense? Who wants to walk into a house and have a basement? Right? Who wants to come into the house and step foot into a basement first? Nobody. Nobody in their right mind would have people and friends over, and you walk in, and first thing you step into is my welcome to my basement. What would you think? It is a cute house. The Amity house is a cute house now. Absolutely. I don't know if I would live in it. Would you? I definitely would not rent this house either after the atrocities that we were told. Absolutely freaking not. That would be a definite no for me. Yeah, that would be a definite no. So I'm looking at some of these comments and I'm thinking, wow, you know, there's this guy and he has a YouTube, and I don't know if anybody has seen this, but shout out to Amanda. She sent this to me. I would definitely not live in this house, but here's the comment I want to make on this picture before I show you. This house was added onto. The third floor was added onto. Okay. And when you look at this house, if you remember the basement, you walk into the basement, there's this little tiny, I might have to go get it. There's this little tiny door that was locked. And when you open that door, it looked like there had been a cutout for another door. It had a garage. Yeah, it had a garage, like a little shed next to it. It was a makeshift shed garage. And when you looked at that picture of the simple little, room, whatever it was the HVAC / something room. It looked like there probably had a little passageway. That's what I want to say. A little passageway. And in that passageway was potentially a passageway to the second and the third stairs, allegedly, in my humble opinion. And the reason I say this is because when you look at the add-on to the third level, this house was sloped. There's an attic in this second level. It was a first level at the time, then it was the second level. So before this house, this house does not make architectural sense to me. I'm no expert, but I think that there were probably some hidden passages in this house. And the reason I think this is based on the pictures that we see in the little locked door. There's that little locked door that you see on body cam. And I'm going to grab that real quick just for illustration purposes. I'm going to bring up Law and Crimes 911 call real quick. And I want you to see. I want you to take a look at this real quick. Let me put this up for you real quick. Nah, that's not a good one. Let me see if I can find a better one for you. Okay. Let me still shot this, and I'm going to bring it up. And when he walks right into the door, okay. Okay, see this? Let me show this instead. When you see this, look at this little, okay, off to the right, that is a bedroom there. Off to the left, there is a door with a lock in it. This is the bathroom. On the other side, there's a door with a lock. They don't show you, but they talk about it. Okay. They definitely don't show us, but they do talk about it. And in that door, there is a little, sorry, wrong picture. In that door, there is a lock. And inside that locked door at 1122 King Road was the HVAC system. Let me see if I can pull up the locked door. Let me see if I can see if there's an image. Hold on one second. Okay, let me see. I want to see where this HVAC system was. The little... Who had a good picture of it other than the police department? ISP released all those pictures. So let me see if I've got a photo I can pull up real quick, because we talked about it once before. And I'll actually show you. I'll actually show you this little cubby hole. Let me just take a look real quick. All right, let me grab this one. This is a really good one. I'm sure you guys have seen these too. No, that one's not a good one. Hold on. I think I talked about this before, but I want to show you. Let's see. This is it. No, that's not it. Okay, I think it's... Is it in the original batch photos? Or is it in the... Let me look. I think it's in this one. No, these are Coburgers. Hold on. Photos one. I labeled these. Okay, here we go. Let me show you this screen instead. Okay, so let's go down. And let me find this little locked room. Gets it further down. All right, here's when you walk in. Okay, you walk in, they're taking pictures. Here's the little... This is to the other bedroom. This is to the bathroom. That's a bedroom in here. And then you go down, and here's the locked door. They already have the door open. This little locked door. Hold on. And it's like a little HVAC room. See the locked door? Okay. But when you go into this door, let me see if it's in this batch. What is that on the dryer? Did anybody ever say what this was on the dryer? I've not seen any evidence saying if it was dirt, blood, or anything. Did anybody ever find out on this picture? I know this was a big debate back then, but I just remembered it as I went through it. And let me see. Where is that? I should have brought it up if I thought about it earlier. Okay, let me see. That almost has the same lock on it as the front door lock. So the property management must have put that on there. Where is this? Okay, here's the HVAC room. Okay, see these little, these in between these rafters? See this little, I don't know why this would be here. I don't know if they just put it in there for a filler, or is that something that you open? I think, in my humble opinion, you guys look at this, all right? It has, I don't know if this is the door that they've just opened. It has a hinge here. But look, on this thing, it looks like this is like a makeshift door, or they closed in a wall or something here. So if this was a little crawl space so that they could get up in the attic, because I don't know how you would get in the attic if there was no other way in. All right, those are the stairs going up. But in this little locked door right here, in this half wall, this isn't even a full wall built all the way to the top. This wasn't even, it was like a half wall. It was a door sized wall. There was a little gap in between it. But if you can go, and it was a makeshift door, you could probably access some of this attic and crawl space. And when they knocked the house down, there was a large area back here that you could see that was very well open. Okay. And I think other creators have talked about this. Okay. And let me see if I can find the picture where there was that miscellaneous little hole that people are like, what is that? What is that? This part doesn't make sense, especially if you overlay them. You'll see that there is possibly a crawl space in there. And I'm saying possibly. Look at this, the way the house was constructed. Here's this is the third story, and look at this little hole cut out there. That is not a window, folks. It's not a window. And if you look at the basement level, there looks like another basement under there. It looks like a 4-level house. I mean, doesn't it? 1, 2, this is the open area. That was the add-on. This is that little tiny space. That little tiny space that you see in this groove right here. And hopefully you can see it on my cursor on the screen. So, oh, that's a super weird, like a false. Yes. And so when I say this little area looks like it had access, wrong picture. Hold on. Let me get the right picture. Like it had access through this area. Could it be a small crawl space? I don't know what this was there. Maybe it was, it looked like it was like a pantry or a door, or they were going to put these, it looks like it's a cupboard facing frame or something. But it does look like it's 4 freaking stories. It does. And that's what it looked like to me, this tiny little crawl space. You hear about stories that people live in these little spaces and stuff like that. I mean, what the heck is this? What is this? This was the first floor. This was the second floor. And this was the third. This was the second. This was the third floor. And that is not a tiny window there. That was on the inside. That's the creepy frame job. Yeah, creepy. It's freaking creepy. There you go. I'm not the only one looking at this thinking, okay, this was the original house. Okay? Look at the foundation of the house. They tore the bottom. That was the basement. That was the basement. This was the second story. This was the outside wall. This was the bed. This is the second bedroom. This is back on the kitchen side. This is the third. But what is this area in between there on this house? And it looks like it was added, or it was made that way in the beginning. A walk-in closet. I don't know about that. That's the second on the back side. So this front of the facade of the house is gone. I mean, literally gone. This front part is gone. And I'll let you look at it a little bit bigger. So this is the outside. This is the base foundation. This was the basement. This was the second story. This was that little crawl space on the second. That had to have been some secret room or crawl space room or something. Now, how scary is that? What if somebody was lurking in the room, in the house, or here you go. Look at that. You guys are super wicked smart. You are freaking smart. It could be an air duct passage, but you know what? Even air duct areas, even in the HVAC system, there's still room to move in between. There's still room because you have to access those to repair it. Still have to access them. If they didn't do the permits, it might not be on file. I agree. And a lot of people don't file for permits. They just do whatever they want. Yeah, that's something that we can do too. Absolutely. I wonder what they found in there. I don't know. Or maybe they moved it out. Don't know. Don't know. I did hear right that they had the formal November 11th in this house. They allegedly they were supposed to, yes, that they were hosting a formal. They weren't going to go to someone's formal. They were actually doing their own. And somebody was very upset about that. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of spooky things that we can see in this house. I mean, even if we saw this before, I would think that this was odd. If nothing happened in this house, why would they have this look like a little access in the basement to go to the second and possibly the third floors? It should have a confined space, but if you have to access it, you have to be able to get in there. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I have my thoughts about this case, and, I mean, they could all be in WITSEC. We don't know. Their families wouldn't know either. But if something like that was about to happen, could be a little tiny secret stairway. Absolutely. What if it was a stairway just for I don't know, just to be able to have access to those certain things? It is in Kaylee's room on the backside. Yes. It may be a closet, maybe that little passage space that everyone keeps talking about on the hallway. I mean, there's could be so many different things. I mean, there were pictures like this that were showing, and I just want to be very cautious. This is pure speculation. I don't know if this is a piece of debris, but I'm going to point out to you very quickly. On the left side of this wall right here, it looks like there is an actual doorway that leads into this hill part right here. So can you guys see that? They used a little, yeah, like a servant's entrance back in the days. Yeah. Sammy the Bull was in Wixet and now she's on YouTube. Wow, I didn't know that. In my humble opinion, a wall in the HVAC. I don't want to know about the spare room. Yeah. I mean, if you start thinking about it, I've got a picture that was just sent to me, and this is possibly one of those, yeah, that makes sense moments, right? Let me grab the picture. Okay, let me just see this. Here is, look at this. Let me see if I can pull this pic. Here's a really good one. Holy moly. Okay, this is a really good picture, guys. Let me pull this one up. And I don't know in relationship to the house, but we could see this. And then I'm going to give you the scary scream, the live scream that I want to talk about next. So this is just one of these house pictures. It makes you go, what was happening in this house? Who had access to this house? That's the most interesting part. And you know what? This would look like it makes sense. Holy freaking moly. Amanda, shout out to you. Live on the fly. Girlfriend. You just made my night. Here we go. Let me show you this picture, and then you guys flip this picture around in your mind if you can. This little hole would be on the back. No, wait a minute. Hold on. If this was the room and you walk in, that little hole would be on the inside of the house. So, Amanda, drop it below real quick. Where was this picture in relationship to this picture? What would that little closet, where would this little tiny closet be in this picture? Because if it was on that side, that would make sense, that whole little. But if this was in the spare bedroom, then this little, that would be on the back side of the house. This would be on the back side of the house. It wouldn't be towards the tunnel. If that's the spare bedroom and you open the door, that would be on the back side under the kitchen. Back side leading under the kitchen out into what? Was there another basement back there? Was there a continuing basement on the foundation? I'm wondering. Look like a concrete door. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the other pictures. They're a little blurry. Let me just say this. I can see this on this picture. It looks like perhaps on the other side. So was there perhaps a door on the back side of that door? Holy moly. Holy moly. Yeah, it looks like the basement should be bigger, that it goes all the way back into the foundation. So if this little door, you open this door and there's another door that goes to the back side of the foundation, that is the continuing of this foundation. And this wall was put up to be, it looks like it needs to continue to the back to support the other foundation. It does. Oh man, it does. I wonder if there is indeed some other tunnels back, or part more of the basement, because it has to have some foundation to hold this. There has to be some foundation under here. Wow. That's wild. I never thought about that. No, I never thought about that. Behind the window, behind the foundation. Let me bring up this photo. That's a good catch, Amanda. Thank you. Wowzers. I never thought about that. It is on the back side of the house. That is. Now, I remember seeing this one and thinking, wow, okay, this is when they get behind the walls, right? This construction guy on the left side. See where that wall paneling sits right here? I wonder, because that house had to have some strong foundation underneath it. When you start to look at these pictures and they're just showing you the first basement wall. That's the basement wall. That's still a wall standing there. We don't know what's beyond that wall. In my humble, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking on the back side of that house. A World War II bunker. Possibly that could make sense. Wow. Yeah, we looked at the tunnels. We looked at the railroad. I did a whole background on that. We looked at the railroad, the steam tunnels. Be right back. I have a video for you to show. Okay, great. Yeah, so if you look on the back side of this picture of this wall, this is supposed to be the basement wall. And you can see the dark dirt on this side of the right side. Yeah, you can see that dirt on this side. And you can see the basement wall. I'm wondering why they decided to tear this down in broad daylight. Even though they had crews there, they had all people watching. And so early in the morning. Maybe they were trying to hope and do it before everyone else woke up. So freaking odd. And then this picture is something else, I'm telling you. Let's compare it to this one. This one is the ultimate, right? When you look at this is the back sliding door right underneath this third floor. That's the back sliding door. And they've made the house fall in front. Oh, shit. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta freaking be kidding me. You gotta. I cannot. You guys aren't gonna believe what I just realized. You guys have. The way they demoed this house right in front of our freaking eyes. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Oh my God. I just watched like a movie play out getting these pictures up here, guys. I could put them in consecutive order and you'd be like, what the heck? This was almost the ending picture that we got. That was one of the final pictures. They demolished this house so you would not see what was behind the first floor basement house, in my humble opinion. And I'm going to tell you from a demolition standpoint, I'm no expert, but I've seen some houses demolished. And I will say this, they hid this right in plain sight in front of our eyes. Right in plain freaking sight. And I'm going to show you why. Holy freaking moly. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. Still dumbfounded. Oh my gosh. I'll put that video up in a minute, Amanda. Let me grab it. Let me grab it real quick. Let me see if I can pull it out. Let's see. Let me see if I can grab it. I don't know if I can copy and paste. Let me see if I can just type it in. Hold on. TikTok.com. Boy, you're gonna make me work for this video. T-ZP8TMGR88. All right, let me see if I can pull it up. All right, got it. Hold on one second. Let me put it up on my screen. I'm gonna show this video Amanda just sent me, and then I'm gonna show you what I believed we just watched and what happened. You guys are not gonna believe this. I'm losing my voice. Hold on. You're not gonna. And they thought that they had us. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Yep, that's what I was thinking. I'm going to go back right. Hold on a minute. I'm going to get a violation if I keep playing that music, so I'll just edit it out. Wow. They destroyed this house right in front of our eyes, and what they did is sinister, in my humble opinion. If that was an entrance, and that's why the spare bedroom was left empty, for the pure, sheer speculative fact is that's how you could get in and out of that house unknowingly, undetected, and who knows what was behind that locked door. Now, how many of you want to bet that we had no idea at the time what we were watching until we weren't watching it? Think about it. They destroyed this house right in front of our eyes. Well, we were all watching, whoever has been watching this case, without us even realizing or detecting what they were doing until someone pointed it out. Until someone said, hey, look at these pictures consecutively. Maybe it was going to be an all-day thing. They knew the news was out there. They definitely knew they were out there. But take a look at this picture. Take a look at the progression. Watch the pictures like I'm showing you in a movie. Here's the house boarded up. They come early in the morning. They start destroying it so less people could see it. Then the more people started showing up, they got closer and closer and closer to the truth until the house was taken down. But they took the house down so it would fall in front of this alleged door here, right here. And this is the rest of the foundation of the house that goes all the way back to the hill, folks. All the way back. So if you make this house fall forward, you would hide the door until you got to the end. The end. And what do you see when you get to the end of having the house fall in front? Well, you get to this little door that you've been trying to hide all day long. And they got what? Busted. They got busted. Check that out. Busted. Can you believe that? Wow. That is just incredible. That is freaking unbelievable. So, folks, if you've been watching and no one explained it. We all just learned together, humbly. What I was thinking that Amanda just shared with us that solidified, wow, that is freaking crazy. Now, you want to know what else is crazy, folks? Oh, it's always hidden in plain sight, right in front of our eyes. Everything was strategically planned, in my humble opinion. All alleged, all so that we could see what? Also that we could see this last picture that was posted. I don't know if I can remove my banner. You can see it right there on the bottom on Instagram that started this whole succession that we see now. And you know what? If you look at this picture, the way this picture was set up, what do I mean set up? Look at the dynamics of this picture. I wish I had, oh, you know what? I might have the ability to do an overlay. Hold on. I'm going to try to do an overlay on the fly while we are with each other live. I'm going to turn this into a live dig moment. And I'm going to see if this is even possible. Let me just try to pull this up real quick. You guys are going to be like, holy moly, we got played. I'm thinking it was a real case, but we got played because they had to do something bigger and better in store. Jeez. Man, I'm telling you. Let me just grab this real quick. Because when you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And I want to make sure I get a really good solid picture. Here's one. Let me just do this for you. How many of you can see things abstract? And when I say that, I mean like abstract. Like you can see things. It's not necessarily seeing things that other people don't see, but you can see patterns and recognize patterns. Well, unfortunately, fortunately, I've got that gift. And when I see it, I can't unsee it. So when you guys see it, you're going to know it. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can take this image out of here. And let me just put it over it. This might work. This might work. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Damn. Damn. You guys are going to believe this. I did my best in trying to get the outline here, but it is what it is. Let me see if I can take this out and I will show you. Shoot, I can't. That's not going to let me. Let me try it this way. Okay. Yep, here it is. Wowzers. All right, let's see if this works. I'm just going to show you this picture. And if you get it, you'll get it. I think this will work. All right, let me save it. This is insane. This is insane in the membrane, guys. Holy moly. Okay, I'm about to put this picture up. I believe something did. I believe something did happen, unfortunately, and they use this to further their agenda in Idaho because they got to put Idaho on the map, right? Why take a, what did it say? Phoenix, what's in the hair? I don't know. I think that was a bad, I don't know. She could have hit it, or I don't know. Maybe it's a sign or a message to somebody that, hey, look at this, y'all. Look at this picture. What do y'all think of that? I know I'm not weird for doing this. I'm just saying, look at this picture. Look at the picture. It is a set freaking up. They wanted to put Idaho on the map. I think they used this unfortunate happening to put Idaho on the map. That's what their goal and their intention was. Look at that. You can overlay the outline of, yes, Idaho. This is the outline of Idaho. Right over these 4 that were looked like the state of Idaho. Isn't that wild? I can't unsee it. It's there. You think Hunter took the picture? I don't know. But doesn't that look like that is a setup? It just keeps getting better and better every day. I think we are starting to wake up to the realization that they used a potentially horrible crime to put a bigger agenda together. The Idaho 4. Yep. And what else? What else on your keyboard? What else is on your keyboard for the 4? $, sign. If you go and type in Idaho 4 and you absolutely don't do your little uppercase, you get the $sign. The 4 on the keyboard is a $sign. So if you're not seeing the signs, welcome to the sign unsealing. The Idaho 4 was big money for a lot of people, folks. There's always something hidden that will be unhidden. No matter where. Yeah, it's like word salad. Look at that. You can't unsee it once you see it. I definitely can't unsee what we've learned today. And I really, wow. If you had, let me leave you with this question. If you had to spend one night alone in the King house before they demolished it, would you even do it knowing what happened there? Allegedly. Would you spend the night in this house so that you would know every little secret this house had? Every little secret, including this one. Woo, woo, woo. I would want to know. I would have to phone a friend, and that would be what any one of you say, meet me in Moscow. Would you spend the night there at 1122 King Road before they tore it down? No, you wouldn't? Absolutely not. Even if you had a friend. If you had a friend, you wouldn't. No? Oh my gosh, you guys. Come on, I bring equipment. Yes, yes, yes. Super paranormal. No, you wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I would probably have to, yeah, this is why they say Ethan is gone over and over, never said deceased as a parent. If they are in WITSEC, if that's an opportunity, if they are, then that's what they've accepted, that he's gone. Yeah, I would only hope not that Tim would not be around. I agree, too much evil. Yes, I believe. Phoenix, don't worry about putting the scare on. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, I'm gonna leave you with something at the same time. Seen these before, I'm sure you have. No, you'll go to sleep. Um, these are some of the most hilarious uh have you seen these before? These I'm sure I'm sure that I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna share this with you. Happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe, be well.
And right now, step on it. Watch this.
Y'all have a great night. Be safe. Be back here tomorrow. Let's do. Oh no, tomorrow is Saturday. No, I will not be back on. If I have a special, I'll post it up here at least 24 hours in advance. Until then, everyone be safe, be well. Enjoy your Halloween.
Dusty roads behind me, everything's in my veins. They tried to cage my spirit, bear me in chains. I feel the fire rising where my heart used to ache. Breaking through the ashes, watching through dawn, I'm late. Shadows shout their warnings, but I keep moving on. Digging for my justice till the break of dawn. Rise up like a phoenix right at dawn's first light, tearing off my blinders, scorching through the night. No more chained by rumors or the poison lies. I'll find my freedom when the truth will rise. Forward ever, onward, never looking back again. Stamping out the darkness, feel the roaring wind.
It goes up the doubters, trying to slow my pace. Thunder in my footsteps, feel the wind I chase. Chains can't hold my spirit, justice is my crown. I'm riding into sunrise, claiming every town.
No fear in my reflection, shedding every guise. In the roar of freedom's course, hear my battle cry. I rise up like a phoenix riding north's first light, tearing off my blindness, scorching through the night. No more chained by rumors or the poison lies. I find my freedom where the truth will rise. Forward ever, onward, never looking back again. Stamping out the darkness, feel the roar